You know, growing up, you think you know the score, who you can believe in. We trusted you, Shakira. You told us that hips don't lie. But they do lie, Shakira. Don't they? Hey up and welcome to Henchfit. Hope you're all doing alright out there in lockdown limbo. Thanks for wicked feedback on my last couple of videos. My girlfriend really enjoyed shouting at me in kitchen. Glad you enjoyed them as well. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, but main thing that's been on my mind has been the role that our hips play in our movement, especially when we're squatting. How you move through your hips has a massive effect on the loads being transferred through your spine, and that's really important if you're recovering from a back injury like I am. Amazing thing is, Captain Jean-Luc Picard at Starship Enterprise contacted me about work I've been doing, and he's invited me on board to give an exercise demo to the whole bloody crew. I guess he heard that my skills are out of this world. So I've got my communication device ready. I reckon there'll be an orbit about now, so let's give him a call. Hey up Enterprise. Permission to come aboard?
Permission granted.
Wicked. So let's take a look at how your leg positioning affects your body during a squat. In this first position you can see that my legs are too close together, and I'm actually starting the descent by breaking with my knees first. I'm loading my knees quite a lot by having them move past that line of my toes. This is another bad habit. If I was carrying any weight on my back, this would lead to quite a bit of damage over time. My back's pretty rounded, and check out that posterior pelvic tilt at the bottom of the movement. That's going to put a lot of compressive load on that lumbar spine. So let's move my legs a little bit further apart. Everybody's hip socket is a little different, so you've just got to experiment and see which stance is better for you. So now we can see another common mistake, which is the dreaded butt wink. And that's when your squat's led with an anterior pelvic tilt, so coming from the front of your body. That bend at the base of the spine is again going to load up that lumbar region. If you look around next time you're out, you'll probably catch a lot of people walking around with an anterior pelvic tilt. Especially women, because they're used to walking around with high heels. And some guys, whatever floats your boat. Be aware of your hip positioning and experiment to find out your neutral resting point. This is about the extent of my dancing ability, so I've got to
calm my bloody form.
Now engage that abdominal brace, keep upright and maintain a straight spine. Imagine that you're sitting back into a chair and you're not quite sure where it is. Break at the hips first, but don't tilt backwards or forwards. We want to keep that neutral position. An interesting point to note is that if your legs aren't spaced wide enough apart, or you don't open out at your knees as you go down, your back is still going to bend. We need to avoid that. We want to keep everything straight, tight and locked. Now let's go with the same stance and technique, but with the heels raised a bit. Because of my body mechanics, I tend to do all my squats with my heels on a 2-inch bit of wood. Just feels better for me. This technique's more beneficial for people with long femurs or limited ankle mobility. By elevating the heels, we're reducing ankle and hip flexion, and it's also slightly lowering the hips. And this can be the key to a legal squat in a competition, because if you don't get to the right depth, your squat's not going to be counted. It's less load on the back, requires a bit more leg strength, but that's why it's better for me really. It's also got the added bonus that it keeps your torso more upright. My favourite squat variation is to have my heels raised and a resistance band around my thighs. These are pretty cheap, you can pick them up from Kmart or any sports shop. They're a really handy bit of gear to have in your home gym. And this is going to produce an isometric contraction of my thighs and glutes, and it also reduces that tendency to tilt at the pelvis, because now you're concentrating more on contracting and opening your legs as you go down. It also gives you great results if you've had a back injury and you're unable to load your spine. Before my injury I used to rely on deadlifts to build up my glutes and posterior chain, so this has been a great way for me to maintain my gains while I'm recovering. Alright, so let's take a side-by-side look at how elevating my heels affects the mechanics of my squat. On the left, my feet are flat on the floor, and on the right, I've got my heels on that bit of wood. So going down, you can see it's enabling my body to keep a little bit more upright, and by the time my elbows touch my knees, my legs only have to be parallel to the floor to achieve that full depth of squat. Only needing this range of motion from my hips is going to greatly reduce the risk of me having any posterior pelvic tilt at the bottom. And that's really crucial for me because I need to keep my lumbar spine from being unnecessarily stressed. Everybody's different, so experiment on yourself and figure out what works best for you. Practice in front of a mirror without any weight on your back to start with, and just look at how your body moves, what feels better. Alright, that's about it. I better get back down to earth and cook dinner before my girlfriend starts calling ship and scaring hell out of everybody. Yep. Energize. That was awesome! Achievement unlocked, talk about childhood dream come true. Any excuse to wear my bloody Star Trek uniform. There's no coronavirus up there and transporter system kills any bacteria, so I'm all good. Thanks for watching. Comment below if there's any exercises you want me to do a tutorial on in future, and don't forget to do me a favour and smash the shit out of that subscribe button. Have a good one. Catch you later. Stay hench.